What is going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bars show. Woo, man, I've rushed home from the gym. Freaking took a little bit. I had to figure out what happened here with my picks. Turns out last week, guys, we had 9 right, 4 wrong, and a tie. That kind of threw a wrench into it. Probably would have had 10 right there. That's wild. Absolutely wild. So we still keep on that 60. I think we're like a 58% pick rate so far for this week. And overall, I feel like we're should be just about the 60% mark. So not that bad, nothing crazy. But this is the time of the year where we start turning it around. Holy crap. I'm sorry for I don't even have I have my workouts. I wasn't even thinking. Best way. Holy moly. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, guys. We are working towards that 500 subscriber goal, hoping to hit that by the end of the year. And yeah, you definitely reached the right place for some optimism, some outside of the box thinking, and some color commentary mixed with a little bit of analysis here, just to make sure that you guys get a different perspective than all the negative ones that are out there. All righty, then we are back with another pick'em stream, guys. So I'm going to jump right into it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And we are going to start with the game that will be heard around the world. Tomorrow, we got the San Francisco 49ers facing the Los Angeles Rams. It's in the same state, so it's not like the traveling is going to make a big factor here. San Francisco, we still got dealing with some injuries. They did suffer their first loss last week, and I feel like they're going to be hungry to kind of turn that around. It is a divisional game, so it's always going to be a lot closer or more unpredictable than anyone can give credit. Both teams are coming in 3-1. Rams coming out against Rams after a fantastic game, kind of derailing the Indiana Jones hype train. Now I think this game's gonna be pretty decently close, and I think it might be a little bit higher scoring than most people give it credit, because it would be a divisional game, and these divisional games between in this division specifically have come down to being, like the Cardinals San Fran game, the San Fran Seattle game, right? The Rams. So a lot of these games are going to be a lot closer, but instead of lower scoring, I'm gonna bank here that it's going to be a slightly higher scoring game. I feel like the Rams pass rush is still going to is going to be running havoc, but the savviness of Coach McVay and and the 49ers and their coaching staff are going to have some adjustments ready for that to be the case. I feel like Christian McCaffrey is going to get a lot of usage, as well as the Rams still relying this week a lot on that arm of Matthew Stafford, which doesn't seem to be getting old. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Samuel Wilkins, thank you for joining me, and you are a real one, brother. I love you, dude. Thank you for hanging out with me. And then with all that being said, I think it's going to be a little bit higher. Give me the Rams 31-27 against the 49ers. A lot closer game, but a higher scoring than what people are anticipating. That's what my intuition and my general thoughts are when it comes to the 49ers and the Rams. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good game. You definitely don't want to miss Thursday night. It might be not everybody's cup of tea because of the defensive the defensive efforts that we're going to see from both teams, but I being a defensive enjoying a lot of the defensive football. I think it's that's why I think it's going to be an awesome one. But I feel like Matthew Stafford and Brock Purdy are going to be slinging it near later the third and into the fourth as the game starts getting tighter and them wanting to win this game. But give me the Rams 31-27. Moving on to the game of the hour, the game that won't be sour. We got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is going to be quite the controversial game. Everybody has been up and down when it comes to this Minnesota Vikings team. They're on the bandwagon, they're off the bandwagon. The Browns have been what they are, a defensive team with nothing much going for them on offense. Now this week they'd look to try to spark that offensive output by starting Mr. Dylan Gabriel. So a rookie quarterback coming up against Brian Flores is in his defense, and we know how much Brian Flores salivates at this kind of opportunity. We saw what he did against CJ Stroud last year, completely embarrassed those bums and put him in a slump so severe that it's 2 years later and he's still struggling. That's how deep Brian Flores got into the mind of CJ Stroud. So what do you think is going to happen to Dylan Gabriel? I feel like he's going to be running for his life. That O-line is not going to be able to do enough to keep this guy protected. And as a result, I see a lot of rookie mistakes, a lot of moments where he looks flustered and uncomfortable with the NFL speed, because that's what Brian Flores does. When we look at the Minnesota Vikings, we are definitely a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde team this year. We, like I said, in my breakdown of the Steelers versus Vikings game, after I watched the game multiple times and definitely ripped out my fandom and made sure I was as objective as possible and rewatched multiple plays over and over and over again, I saw a lot of things where the best play that definitely could have been drawn up may have been drawn up or could have been drawn up, but the O-line didn't hold up, or Carson Wentz checked or audibled out or whatever it was. So I feel like it's more of an execution problem. I think it's a direct result because there are so many backups that have had to come in, and when I feel like they weren't anticipating to having to play. So hopefully this week, Mr. Chris Cooper, I hope you have prepared the backups just as much as the starters, and also got some insurance with Mr. Oh my gosh, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about, the guy that we just picked up from the Cowboys. But I hopefully he has some minor game plans, and hopefully we have some different rotations on the O-line to hopefully throw in there to try to make a bit of a spark, or maybe try to find some consistency there if it becomes a drastic problem. I feel like after seeing everything that went down yesterday with the difficulty with the pass rush, I feel like we're going to lean more on the run and more on the quick pass today, getting that ball out as fast as possible. I feel like that's going to be one of the biggest things is going to be talked about in Minnesota this week, or in England this week, preparing for this game. As a result, I feel like it's going to be a totally the flip, the opposite side. I feel we're going to have we're going to have less problems with execution. That means less penalties, and we're going to be more effective as a result. And then with that being said, I feel like we're going to run away with it. Give me the Minnesota Vikings 27-9. These Browns are going to be kicking field goals, and Dylan Gabriel, as awesome as it is to see a rookie start, and as much as I always want them to succeed, I just don't think this defense is that type of defense to give you all the confidence to start your career. So good luck to you, Mr. Gabriel. You're going to need it, and give me those Vikings, like I said, 27-9. Then we're moving on to the battle of the 1-3 teams that are struggling and looking like they are a shell of the hype and the height, because the Texans were more hype and the Ravens were definitely hype, because they have definitely proved a lot, unlike the Texans, right? So hype versus height. The height of the Ravens is almost unstoppable. There's only a few teams and a few coordinators that know how to handle that. Mr. Spagnuolo, I'm looking at you. But unfortunately, it does not look like Lamar Jackson's going to be there. Of course, they can lean heavily on Derrick Henry, and hopefully he doesn't fumble the game away. And then we look at the Texans, which they do have a lot of defensive talent. They do have the ability, as we saw last year, to put on the gas and not let up whenever they see the blood in the water. Now, that being said, we have a team that's strong on defense and struggling on offense, and then we got a team that's been bad on defense, and their offense was great when it was Lamar Jackson, and now it's going to be a little bit muted because we got Cooper Rush, if I'm not mistaken, taking the reins over. Although he has proven multiple times in the league that he can carry a team for at least a game, right? Not carry a team, but at least be a serviceable quarterback, right? So the give me the Ravens in an extremely close game, 17-14, with a walk-off field goal. Moving on to the Dolphins versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Carolina Panthers have also had a little bit of a season where they are they come and they go. So it's very, very difficult to pick on them. Pick them. I picked the Dolphins last week, even though I had a lot of hope for the new look Jets, but it turned out that my intuition was right and the Dolphins did win. But I feel like this is going to be one of those games where the Dolphins regress to the mean and the Panthers find more consistency this week. So it's going to be a lot closer of a game. Give me the Panthers 24-21. That's what my heart is telling me, and that's what my brain is telling me. So that's where we're going to go. Moving on to the next 1 o'clock window game, the Los Angeles Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Raiders did an incredible job of trying to stay with the game against the Bears, but there was just too many self-inflicted mistakes and crucial sacks taken from Geno that were definitely drive stallers, stuff like that. So, but I feel like Alshon Jenti is definitely a guy. I think there is a lot of potential in this team. In the Colts, I think came falling back down to reality. I still think they're a really good team. Jonathan Taylor is an incredible back. Daniel Jones, if he isn't put in these situations where he's going to have to be perfect with his decision making, his throw, audibles, pass protection, if the Raiders can force him into a lot of those situations where it's outside of their game plan, then they could make it struggle. But I feel like it's going to be more of a game where both teams are going to be doing their best, and it's going to come down to the very end. Give me the Raiders in a 3-point win, 27 to 24. Yes, we're going to go with the Raiders there. And then moving on to the New York Giants, Big Blue versus the Saints. Man, I really wish I would have went with my heart. I came so close last week. I picked the Chargers, and even then, after the fact, I stopped and I said, oh, but I really love Big Blue. I really wouldn't be surprised if they shocked the world, and they did, yes, last week. And they showed people exactly what I've been saying this entire time, that they have a lot of raw talent. And if they start figuring it out and start being able to be more consistent and putting it together more often than not, they are going to be turning a lot of heads this season. Now, I have been a big proponent and a big fan of Mr. Spencer Rattler. You know, he hasn't been given a lot of credit or a lot of hype or even positivity since he came into the league. It's been a lot of, oh, what is this guy going to do? And there's not going to be that coming from me. I really like from what I've seen from Spencer Rattler. I think he's going to be more than a capable, serviceable starting quarterback that any team that's rebuilding or looking for some stability at the quarterback position is going to want to have. And I feel like he's going to be with the Saints a little bit longer as they transition into a rebuild, which I feel might be coming on next year. With all that being said, I cannot, in good faith here, but you know what? Hold on a sec. The Giants are traveling to New Orleans. They are missing Malik Neighbors, which is going to play a factor. But you know, Wan'Dale Robinson, I feel like he's an underrated receiver. I know he had a couple bad drops in situations, but he also had some really, really nice crisp runs and some really nice gains last week. So I feel like their passing attack still has a lot of potential. I really kind of almost for a second guessed myself because of Alvin Kamara and the perceived more stable floor when it comes to these Saints in comparison to the Giants, because the Giants have been a little bit up and down. But I feel like The confidence continues to build. I feel like the Giants are going to go ahead and take this win. Let's give it to them 24 to 14. A nice decisive win by the Giants, something that they need going forward to keep building that momentum. Moving on to the Cowboys versus the Jets. These new start Jets or these upstart Jets with Aaron Glenn. Man, I really like what's going on there. They don't look any. They don't look. The record doesn't seem like they've changed much, but when you watch them play football, man, they seem like a completely different philosophy when it comes to the way that they play football now. With that being said, because there is so much new on that team, there is so much inconsistency. We're seeing a lot of penalties, penalty yards, a lot of self-inflicted mistakes, and that's just a result of only having so much time where they're building this continuity and building this locker room and this team up to where they think they can be. Now, if this was later on in the season, I think it might be that this might be a stronger team to kind of bank on here. Now, the Cowboys, we saw what they can do. They may not have a defense, they may not have much of anything, but what they do have, they have the ability. Like I said last week in that Packers game, I said outside of the ability to turn it into a shootout, I don't think the Cowboys have much of a chance against these Packers. That's why I did go with the Packers. I anticipated them to bounce back a lot better, but the truth was the truth last week, and they were able to turn that game into a shootout. Now this is going to be a better defense on paper, so maybe they do a good job of keeping Dak Prescott and the Cowboys from really teeing off on them. But these Jets, I think Justin Fields might be back, and I feel like they're a little bit. I think they're more dynamic with him out there. I feel like they have Tyrod Taylor. I feel like they had Tyrod Taylor. Out there last week as well. But um, this is going to be a bit of a defensive game. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to. I think the Cowboys defense is going to look better than they are because of the dysfunction and the inconsistencies from the Jets. But I feel like it's going to be a lot closer game than people will give credit. You know what? Give me the Jets in a 4-point win, 24 to 20. It's going to be one of those games, and I would not be surprised if this is the game that the Jets kind of put a little bit more together than their opponent does. So give me the Jets in a 4-point win here. Moving on to the Broncos versus the Eagles. Now, I speculated last week that the Eagles were going to finally be able to put a 4-quarter game together, and unfortunately, they struggled a little bit in the second half, allowed Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers to have a little bit more life. Although they were able to shut the door at the very end, their defense is still very, very good. Now, I'm on record saying that one of my bold predictions is that the top 2 defenses in this year are going to be the Denver Broncos and the Minnesota Vikings defense. And so I feel like that defense is going to give some struggles to the Eagles. Now, the inconsistencies that we're seeing from Bo Nix and the Broncos is something to be concerned with. Now, is this the game that we're going to see a complete 4 quarters out of the Eagles? I don't think so. I think this defense is much better than the Buccaneers defense, and so I think they're going to give them some unique challenges. Although at the very end, I feel like it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to take the Eagles 27 to 24 against the Broncos. It's going to be a heck of a game. You do not want to miss this game. Trust me on that one. Let's move on to the 4:05 window here in the Eastern time frame. If you're West Coast, I'm not entirely sure what that would be. So 105, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we got the Tennessee Titans going up against the Arizona Cardinals. I am a big fan of Cam Ward. I am definitely on the side of let's wait and see. There's a lot of dysfunction on the Titans, and I'm hoping that after this year, they clean house and they bring in some quality coaching, some veteran coaching to really take over the reins and build this consistency, somewhat in the same vein of what we've seen from Coach Harbaugh in, I wanted to say San Diego, Los Angeles with the Chargers, right? So with all that being said, it's going to be a lower scoring game, but the Cardinals, I feel, still have the big edge here. They have a better defense, in my opinion. They have, although their offense isn't as consistent as a top team, I feel like they're going to be much more consistent than Titans. I would very much love to see this be the Cam Ward emergence game, breakout game, whatever you want to call it. I would love to see him throw for like 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and embarrass these Cardinals. But like I say always, I am very much more on the side of possibilities. I mean, probabilities over possibilities. And I feel like that is a moonshot of a chance. Although I do think the Titans do have the ability to kind of keep the game close at times. And if they make the right moves and if they can score off the opportunities that they generate, they can keep this game close. We just hopefully we can see a little bit more of maturity and development out of Cam in this week 5 matchup. But I'm still going to be banking on Kyler Murray and what he can do. He's got Zach Ertz, Marvin Harrison Jr., even though he has been up and down this season, that talent is just too much to bank against here. So give me the Cardinals in a low scoring game. Give me 21 to 15. Just a bunch of field goals from the Titans. A great valiant effort, though, from Cam Ward. I feel like he's due for this breakout game. He's due for a game where he kind of shuts the critics up a little bit and go, oh, that's what we've been expecting. And this is the type of team that he has the chance on. As good at times that Cardinals defense is, they are gettable. You are able to throw downfield on them at times if you can catch them. So that is a possibility. So I would not be surprised if Cam Ward had a really good game this week. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. Guys, I have been a Sam Darnold cheerleader since last year. Even before the season started, I started by saying things like, I'm going to play money ball here, and I'm going to take what I believe the base realistic assessment of Sam Darnold is, and I'm going to plug and play that in with our Vikings. And I predicted an easily 11 win season, and we came up with 14, right? So everything that I had anticipated that Sam Darnold was going to be able to do with the Minnesota Vikings, he was able to do. I wholeheartely believe that he has raised his floor. His consistency has gotten a little bit better, but when I see the Seahawks play this year, it's like watching the Vikings play last year. Remember in that week 1, that awful fumble at the end of the game when they were about to win the game and bring it back. We still see these like really funny mistakes out of Sam, and that's just part of his kind of growth. He's still working on those, and I don't hate that. That's just a part of what he's doing and hoping to try to fix. But and another thing, we see a lot of the same things, as in he kind of seems to disappear at times. And late in the 3rd or in the 4th, he's got to come up with a crucial drive, which he does, getting those 3 points or even a touchdown to kind of seal the lead or kind of make it that much more difficult for their opponents. So I am very much happy from what I'm seeing with the Seahawks. I'm more concerned. I'm more not concerned. I'm more happy with my assessment, and I more believe that I'm right, that these Seahawks are going to be a playoff team, and I'm gonna double down with the fact that I think that Sam Darnold has one good game or a better performance in the playoffs, and then he earns him a win, and then he'll struggle in that next game against a better team. But I feel like it's going to be a step in the right forward for his development, and then next year, the year after, that's when we should be really, really worried about Sam Darnold for every single team in the league, because by then, if the trajectory keeps going the way it is, he's going to be a dangerous quarterback in this league. So mark my words. Now, when we look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're basically what Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are. They're just a few years ahead. Now, that defense on the Buccaneers I really like it, what they're able to do in all areas of the team. They're able to come up with sacks, turnovers. They are a nuisance. They're not a defense that a lot of people like to bring up or give a lot of credit to, but you know what? They do a great job out there. So I feel like this game is going to be quite the barn burner. I feel like both defenses are going to do a great job. Now, when it comes to the scoring, I feel like this might end up turning into a shootout, ladies and gentlemen. We got both Baker Mayfield and Baker Mayfield 2.0 and Sam Darnold going at it. I just feel like Sam is just not going to be able to keep up with Baker. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to be a guaranteed win for the Buccaneers. I think it's still going to be a close game. But with all that being said, give me a 3-point win for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 35-31. It's going to be a heck of a barn burner. It's going to be an instant classic. So don't miss that game. That is definitely one of the games that you're going to want to watch. Moving on to the Detroit Lions traveling to Cincinnati and the new look Bengals. I mean, Bungles. Boy, did they look bad 2 weeks in a row. I think they're second guessing their confidence in Jake Browning. Their defense is not good. And what do we need to say about the Lions that hasn't already been said? They're a solid roster. And this is the type of opponent that they don't struggle against. So give me the Detroit Lions in a blowout. Although the Bengals might look a little bit more competent this week, I feel like they're going to try to start making some changes with their offensive strategies, and I think they're going to start putting some of that into play. And they're going to start seeing a little bit of success, but it's going to be nowhere near enough here. Give me the Lions, 42-21 for the Bengals, or for the Lions, but massive blowout win for the Lions. Here we go. We got the Commanders versus the Chargers. Now, hold on. Let me check here. Is Jaden Daniels, is he playing? Let's see here. So we got a recent update here. He's dealing with a sprained knee, a knee sprain, and from week 2. All right, so we're not going to be able to find out if he is going to be playing this week. As of right now, according to Dan Quinn, he has said that so far Daniels has had a strong workout this week, and they're going to be looking at monitoring his progress, and they're going to make an actual decision after all the practices are said and done. Now, I don't imagine them making that jump in the gun and making that decision right after the injury report comes out on Friday. I feel like they're going to let him sleep on it and see if there's any swelling or any tightness or any pain that develops after Friday's practice. And or maybe even Saturday's walkthrough or something like that, right? So I feel like it might be more of a game time decision, but but we also have reports that Jaden Daniels says that he plans on going out there on Sunday. So we are going to make the educated guess that Jaden Daniels is going to be out there this week against these Chargers. Now, this Chargers defense is pretty darn good and they can cause a lot of problems, especially if Jaden isn't able to scramble and is a little bit more cautious when it comes to his footwork and his scrambling and stuff like that, and just getting the ball out sooner. Now, it is no secret that Jaden Daniels is one heck of a workhorse, and he puts a lot of preparation in. So I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if he's put a lot of practice out there to make sure that he does all the right things. More in line with being a pocket passer. That means getting the ball out quicker, throwing the ball away before the rush hits, and or audibling out of obvious blitzing and situations, stuff like that, to get the ball out quick out to the flat or whatever, to make sure that they keep the defense honest against these Chargers. Because if he does that, we know that he's got a dynamic arm and he's got great decision making. Although he has struggled a little bit in those first 2 games, I still feel like he is on the right track. So, with all that being said, though, these Chargers are an extremely good team. I feel like they're going to be out for blood here. Although the Commanders are going to come out and do extremely well. Give me the Chargers 27-24. That's my prediction there for Commanders versus Chargers. And then we got Sunday night football, ladies and gentlemen. The upstart Patriots versus the dominant, prolific offense of the Bills and Josh Allen's 4-0, moving in against a 2-2 team. And again, a team that I said we're going to turn heads and look a lot better than anyone gave credit. And I've also been on the record of saying that I believe that Mike Vrabel will be coach of the year this year after what we see these Patriots do, going from what they were looked last year to this year, in the development that we're going to see on the field this year. Now, this offense is prolific. Like I said, is one of the highest scoring offense in modern football, and they are no joke. We saw a lot of the times last week, Josh Allen just opting to call his own number. He was doing it looked like he was playing running back at points, doing the draw plays, the quarterback draw plays, running up the middle like a freaking big bruising running back. So he is going to be one heck of a task and one heck of an opponent for these Patriots. But let's not forget that this is a divisional team. And like we say, divisional games are a lot closer and a lot more unpredictable than anyone will give credit. And that's because of the amount of notes and analysis that each team has on each other, right? So we've gotten to the points where the Patriots now might have the slight advantage on that because there isn't that long-term like notes and tape on Drake May and what Mike Vrabel is going to be doing this week in comparison to the Bills, where the Patriots have gotten years and years now of data and information and notes that they've gathered from Josh Allen and Sean McDermott and their tendencies. So I feel like this game is going to be a lot closer than people give credit. I feel like the New England Patriots are going to be shocking the world in the sense that they are going to be staying close and making it look like they're not as bad as a team that they are. But with all that being said, I still believe in Josh Allen and these Bills. I cannot in good conscience pick them, even though this is going to be a hard-fought win for them. Give me the Bills 31-27 in a barn burner in Buffalo here. Moving on to Monday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs bouncing back, looking like they have taken control of the narrative and looking like they are ready to start pushing and making progress here in 2025. A rough start for them, no doubt, but they have righted the ship, as they say. Now we got these new look Jaguars, right? They have a lot of cool moving parts. We also see some of the influence coming from the coming from the Mike Shanahan, Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell coaching line, because they did poach some of our coaching staff, as well as the fact that actually, I'll leave that playing so you guys can see. So there's something for you guys to look at. But there is something to say about this coaching staff, and they came out last week and showed out, and they're trying to make a statement this year, saying that we still deserve some credit. We still deserve some respect, and we aren't going anywhere. They could have easily blown up their team a few times already over the last couple of years, but they continue to push forward. They've made a little bit of just coaching adjustments and bringing in a different philosophy, and that seems to be working for them 4 weeks into the season. But Spagnolo is a different breed, guys. He has the ability to draw up some incredible schemes and game plans to make a lot of offenses struggle at the best things that they do. And with that being said, although Trevor Lawrence has been their quarterback for some time, he is going to be dealing with a new philosophy, a new everything. And this team is going to really give them a run for their money. I feel like it's going to be a closer game than people give credit. It's going to be a lower scoring game. Give me the Chiefs 24-21 in a 3-point game, walk-off field goal from these Chiefs. And there you guys have it. Another week of picks in the books. And yeah, what an awesome time to be a football fan, guys. Oh my God. Bro, I'm like, I feel like I'm still sweating. Like I literally got out of the gym, rushed home, had like 10 minutes, had to verify all my picks from last week. And I feel like I'm still sweating from the gym. Man, chest day, wild, 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 wild. You know what? I struggle a little bit today. Maybe because I didn't have, maybe because I fasted too long yesterday and I didn't eat enough. But I feel like I felt like two plates felt a little bit harder today than yes or the last time, right? So very, very, very interesting day for me in the gym. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. No big deal. Two plates is still two plates, 225. Not a lot of people can do that. And I'm still pretty happy with my performance, regardless of how well I wanted to perform today. But that's okay. Now, let's move on to, let's see here. Let me find, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There was a really funny karma moment that somebody had put out there that I really wanted to see. Let me see if I can find it in my history right now, real guys. So if you guys got any questions, concerns, let me know in the comments. I'll answer some questions you guys are wondering for this week or this game. There was a really funny freaking karma moment in the NFL. Was it on my other account or was I looking at, where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. I remember watching a video from this last weekend. I know I went we did the Jalen Ramsey karma moment, which was hilarious. But there was another team that I didn't realize there was some karma there, and it really made me laugh. I can't find it in my history. That's okay. Anyways, we'll leave it there. We got to get. I need to go take a shower and get freshened up. We will be back a little bit later with another live. I think we're gonna do our power rankings live a little bit later. We're gonna do that right after the NFC North roundtable finishes. So somewhere around 7:38, depending on how long that live goes. I like to be in there talking that talk. So other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe as we are on the road to 500 subscribers and hoping to get that by the end of the calendar year. So, again, regardless of what team you are, what fan base you're from, I love every single one of you, regardless of how negative or whatever it is, or if you're just trolling. I still love you. I do not care. Football is supposed to bring us together. It's supposed to take us away from the stresses of the world, and that's why I try to be as positive and as optimistic as possible because I don't want to be another thing, another voice that's bringing more negativity and more stress upon you. That doesn't mean I'm going to ignore things that need to be discussed. Hence, we've been talking a lot about our offensive line coach and things that we're talking about, but I'm definitely not going to be jumping on board with a lot of the negative mainstream or even popular opinions because I feel like it does more harm than good. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining me here. We will be back in about 7:30 Eastern. Uh, about three and a half hours roughly is when we're going to be back for the next live. I will get that one listed up here for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are incredible and you guys mean the world to me. Thank you guys. Take care.